Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to the shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? How was your weekend? I hope it was wonderful. My weekend was really busy and really good. Um, it was Mother's Day, in case you weren't aware. Hopefully, you got to. Hopefully, you got to see your mom. If you didn't, because of the situation that we're in right now, and at least you called her, something. Let her know that you're thinking of her. I called my mom on Sunday, but so Saturday. So because yeah, that's what I was gonna say. so because Sunday was Mother's Day, and I normally have the girls on Sunday, we decided to do Saturday instead. So they came over Saturday, spent the day, and you know, I think one of the like initiations into parenthood that you don't expect until it happens, that kind of just surprises you, is the amount of is the chaos, right? So we had decided the previous weekend that we were going to do Saturday instead, because they wanted to spend time with their mom, and so we had already planned that. And because of the fact that they've been out of school for a couple of months now, their sleep schedule is all goofy. I've had the ability to maintain my normal sleep schedule. I'm up still at between 5:30 and 6, and I'm in bed by 10:30, 11 every night. And so that hasn't changed for me, but for them, their sleep schedule is all messed up. They're waking up in the afternoons now. It's typical young person thing. So I figured they would wake up, you know, afternoon. I thought we'll see, but maybe we'll get lunch. Usually, pre being locked in, we would go out for lunch. We had like a three restaurant rotation that we would go on a tour. So every Sunday we had lunch at a different place, and then I'd cook dinner. But since we've been locked in, we haven't really been eating out that much, but we have picked up some stuff and brought it back. So I was like, well, I'll wait and see, and if they get up early enough, then we'll pick something up. Well, they got up at like 11:30 and said, well, can you come at 1? And I said, sure. So I kind of snacked a little bit and waited. I figured, 1 o'clock, I'll go get them. We'll go get some Wendy's, come back, have lunch. I show up at their house, and like my youngest comes running out to the car, and she doesn't have her cat, which was strange. And she's like, Dad, we have to go to Walmart. And I was like, okay. Like, Mom doesn't know that Mom thinks that you said you had to go to Walmart. Like, they already set this up, right? But they didn't tell me. So I had plans to eat. And then that kind of got put on hold because we had to go do last minute preparations for their Mother's Day gift. So the girls always give really thoughtful, personalized gifts. Last year, they gave me this beautiful framed finger painting, essentially, where my oldest dipped her hand in paint, and then my youngest dipped her hand in paint and put it over top of my oldest's, and they wrote the date on it. It was absolutely gorgeous. And they do stuff like that. So this year, they wanted to make their mom something. They had part of what they needed, but they didn't figure the rest out. And so we went to Walmart, picked some stuff up. Then we had to go get the cat, come back, all that sort of thing. But the cool part about that is they made their mom a necklace, and they made it. It's their fingerprints are set in clay, and then we had to kind of fuse that clay. We used some epoxy. I tried baking soda and cornstarch as a body filler to fill in the gap. It worked great. Sanded it. My oldest painted it. I have some silver spray paint. She painted it with. It turned out really, really nice. It looked really nice. And they bought a stainless steel chain to put it on because, anything else breaks, sensitive skin, that sort of stuff. But the cool part was we were sitting there at like, it had to have been between 5 and 6, and my oldest is thinking about like what kind of box she's going to. She doesn't have a box, and she's like, "Oh, I think I have a jewelry box." And she went up to her room, and she doesn't have it anymore. And I said, we could try to make something out of wood. And she goes, oh, yeah, that. And so I came downstairs and I gave her a couple of options. I took, this piece of, I think this is maple. And I said we could cut some pieces of this maple and glue it together and make a box. Or we can take some pieces of cherry, some inch-thick cherry, and we can hollow out the inside and make a box and hold it together with magnets. And she goes, that's the one. And I said, okay. So the best part about all this was she did it. Like, I picked out some cherry that was, I have scraps. This is all scraps. She had never used the table saw before. I said, you're going to use the table saw. I said, this is, very dangerous tool, but we're going to do it. I'm here. I'm going to coach you through it. And she did great. Turn on the dust clicker, turn on the saw. Talked about, you got to push all the way through the cut. You can't stop. Stand to the side, all that stuff. Then it would use the miter saw to cut everything to length. We had to use the jointer to get a fit nice, and one of the boards had a slight bow in it. It turned out beautiful. I wish I had taken pictures. What I ended up doing was, the piece was about this big, and I used a large 1 3/8 Forstner bit and drilled 3 consecutive holes, and then we just chiseled out the little spikes from where the circles meet, and then we lined the bottom of that with leather. And then I drilled a couple of holes, put in some rare earth magnets on the lid and on the bottom, and then added a pretty decent chamfer to the lid. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. Rubbed it in wax. But just spending that time down here with her and having her explore the shop, use the tools, it was wonderful. And she did a really wonderful job. And I felt really proud of her for, both of my kids have a bit of loud noises bother them a lot. And they kind of shy from it, but turned on the table saw, turned on the miter saw. I mean, she did it all without hesitation. She wasn't scared, no accidents. It was really wonderful. So it was a good weekend. We did that, and then I spent Sunday laying flooring in her room, almost got her room done. I got to the point where I started to make too many mistakes because I was getting tired and hungry, and so I stopped. So still have more to do in there, but, I had a good weekend. And even though I didn't get to see my mom or do anything special for her, it was a good weekend for my kids and for what they wanted to make for their mom. How was your weekend? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. Today's word you should know is assiduously. It is an adverb meaning diligent and persistent, especially in an effort to help others achieve a goal or deliver on one's promises. David worked assiduously to complete his first novel, writing for 3 hours a night after work and dinner. Assiduously. ASSIDUOUSLY.